There are plenty of drivers who are going to be taking up the headlines in 2025. Drivers that are in the lower series that are going to be showing off talent that no one knew was possible. Guys in the higher series who will be underdogs taking their way up to the top. Or some of the top guys competing for championships, or maybe not. Who knows? But I think there are drivers that will be overlooked. Ones that we're not going to talk about at least for a while, or at least when it comes to who we're expecting to maybe show out this season. And today, I want to really look into 5 of them. 5 NASCAR drivers nobody is talking about heading into 2025. So let's get into it. First off is Todd Gilliland, who takes over the number 34 for Front Row Motorsports in the Cup Series. Let's be completely honest here. He is now going to be taking over the lead franchise car at Front Row. And he is also completely overlooked when his teammates are Noah Gragson, who honestly a lot of people are expecting at some point to really show out, as well as Zane Smith, who is returning there after a brief sabbatical away from the team. But this team is one that is primed for success, and just because Michael McDowell is leaving doesn't change that. After all, they will be a key partner heading into the new season, meaning that they are a tier above where they were last year, and with more and more work with Ford in the top brass, Gilliland, I think, can be somebody that is shockingly good for his standards. Last year, he had been one of 4 that didn't score a top 5 after starting every single race, and he also at the same time was the highest finishing guy from Front Row in the points. I think he can be a real fringe playoff guy. Next up is Erik Jones. We'll flip the numbers here. The number 43 Legacy Motor Club Toyota driver, I think, is somebody that no one is going to be looking at. Maybe a few might because he had success in the past, was a Joe Gibbs driver, you name it, but he has had a terrible past year at Legacy Motor Club in 2024, and it's not really even his fault. After all, in 2022, he was one of those guys who was shockingly fast, but the team as a whole fell off a cliff. A lot of it was, I think, though, out of their control. Behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera, this team just had everything go wrong for it. And I think that as a team that needs to catch up, a lot of people are not going to be looking at them because this team has been slow and at the back of the pack. And for that, with Jones leading them as the franchise driver, any improvement will be noticed from them. If they're a top 25 or even top 20 team, Erik Jones is more than likely going to be that driver that does it. His stock has never been lower, in my opinion, and nobody's going to be watching them because there is no reason to watch. They have not shown enough signs of life. But if anyone in those lower teams is to take a big leap, it really could be Jones. Now, there is more than just one Jones that we're going to talk about today. This time, it is Brandon Jones, driver of the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota in the Xfinity Series. Underwhelming, I think, is an understatement for how Brandon Jones performed at JR Motorsports. I don't think anyone was expecting him to perform how Noah Gragson did the year before he took over that car. I don't think anyone was expecting him, honestly, to be the top 2 drivers at any point, really, for JR Motorsports. But he was almost, I would say, atrocious in that car for what the equipment can give him. He had only 4 top 5 finishes and 2 playoff misses in the 2 seasons that he drove in the 9 car, and he was winless, which is something I don't think any of us would have expected, as he did show promise when he raced back in the day in the Xfinity Series at Joe Gibbs Racing. All 4 of his career wins have come with JGR, and the last bit that a lot of people remember him for at Joe Gibbs Racing was that deal with Ty Gibbs at Martinsville. And if you remember that, he was battling not only for a win, but a possible championship 4 spot in the Xfinity Series that year. So it's not like Brandon Jones doesn't have talent. I get it. He's a paid driver, and he's looked at by the fans right now probably as damaged goods, somebody who completely underwhelmed in one of the best situations a young driver, an Xfinity driver, can get. This, though, could be a great reset. He's back to a place where he's comfortable. He's back to a place he's had success in the past. And with that, and with the fact that he still is a pretty young driver, that might be all he needs. Maybe not to be a championship contender, but one of those guys who just pops up once or twice a year with a win. Sticking with the lower series, let's go to the trucks. Tyler Ankrum and the number 18 McAnally Hilgeman Racing Chevrolet. Well, I think he's somebody that a lot of people should be looking at, but not many are. One, because he didn't necessarily perform all that great in total last year, but two, because unless you're one of the top guys, nobody really cares about you in the truck series. He started 2024 hot, at least for his standards. 5 of the first 6 races, he finished 11th or better. He led the points after 4 races, and he spent a full season in the top 8 in points when it counted to either the playoffs as well as just in the regular season. Tyler Ankrum might have started hot, but as he pittered and pattered off, it wasn't like he was necessarily atrocious. He was just middle of the pack. Being overshadowed by teammate Christian Eckes didn't help with that as well. And with Eckes being replaced by Daniel Hemrick, a storyline that will be followed this year and a driver that will be followed, it's going to be hard for him to really stand out unless he takes the next step. And if he does, he could be a true contender this year in the Truck Series. This equipment has been proven to win and compete for championships with Christian Eckes, and I think that if Ankrum is again able to take that next step, he can be the next driver in line in what is turning into a pretty good development team. And to finish off, we'll look at a rookie, Dawson Sutton in the number 26 Rackley War Chevrolet in the Truck Series. It's his rookie season for a team that has not necessarily performed all that well in recent memory, and I get a lot of people maybe even asking, who? And I get that. But he's shown improvement, I think, as the last year went on in his brief 7 starts in the Truck Series. Even if the finishes don't prove it, he was definitely racing more and more in the top 20 at times, and he did have a standout run at Kansas. And I think that, again, if he's just able to learn as a driver, not be rushed, and have enough surroundings to help him develop, he can be a very good story by the end of the year and a name that a lot of people can look at heading into 2026. So there you have it. Those are 5 drivers that I really want to keep an eye on heading into 2025 because I think that they're going to be overlooked drivers for a multitude of different reasons. Whether it's not performing in the past, whether it's needing to perform now, or having teammates that are better, whatever it might be, these guys I think really need to have somebody watching on them because they might sneak up on the field. So with that, I want to pass it on to you and ask you the question. Who is somebody that everybody's overlooking this year? Somebody who might outperform the limited to no expectations they've been given? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.